Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So some interesting news just in. Gennady Golovkin, according to reports, is already in serious negotiations to secure a fight with Billy Joe Saunders, despite the fact that he hasn't even beat Danny Jacobs yet. Boy, that says a lot about Golovkin's confidence, doesn't it? He's already looking straight past Danny Jacobs. And matter of fact, they're trying to secure a fight in Kazakhstan with Billy Joe Saunders. Now for Gennady Golovkin, this is pretty much good news because we all know, after all, that Golovkin, he wanted to unify the belts at the middleweight division. But once again, the question is it smart for him to be psychologically looking past Danny Jacobs? I mean, we've seen fighters in the past look past their opponents and get knocked out, end up losing, having, a minor setback or sometime a huge setback. So it'll be really interesting, the fact that he's looking past Danny Jacobs already. I think the fact that Danny Jacobs has been knocked out, I think Team Golovkin, they have convinced themselves there is no way a guy that has already been knocked out before, a guy that has been knocked down by Sergio Moore, there's no way he gets out of this fight without being knocked out by me. I truly believe this is the way Team Golovkin, they look at Danny Jacobs. I mean, you hear Abel Sanchez say it all the time. Abel, he said it on a couple occasions that soon as they touch Danny Jacobs, they believe he'll fold and buckle under pressure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. This fight has a lot of different possibilities. I've already told you, if I was forced to bet, I would slightly lean towards Golovkin, but I can see an upset in this fight. I mean, a lot of things can happen in this fight. It's really, really interesting. I talked to a lot of professional boxers, trainers, of course, interviewing fighters and other people in the industry. And the majority of them, they all say the same thing. Of course, they say, Danny Jacobs, he has a really good chance, but it's really going to come down to who lands the first bomb in this fight. And to a certain extent, I agree with that. We've seen what happened when Danny Jacobs went up against Peter Quillin. Very similar circumstances. He was the underdog in that fight. A lot of people thought because he had already been knocked out before that he was going to lose to Peter Quillin. And Peter Quillin, being a very hard puncher, by the way, Gabe Rosado, who's been in the ring with both Peter Quillin and Gennady Golovkin, he said that Peter Quillin was the hardest puncher that he had ever faced. So we know that Danny Jacobs has been in the ring with very hard punchers before. And we've seen how Danny Jacobs, he respected Peter Quillin's power. Because, you have some people who really didn't pay attention to the fight. They'll say some stuff like, oh, well, all Danny Jacobs did was go wild when he was fighting against Peter Quillin. First of all, the fight only lasted a half a round. And he didn't go wild. What he did was he caught Peter Quillin with a perfect time. I believe it was a right hand that stunned and hurt Peter Quillin. And then once Danny hurt him, he finished him off with a flurry of combinations. So once again, the point that I'm making, the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because that Danny Jacobs versus Peter Quillin fight came down to who bombs first and lands their bombs. And this is what a lot of people are saying about this fight. It all comes down to who lands their bombs first. We'll see. We'll see how Golovkin reacts if he does get hit with bombs in the first or second round. And we'll see, obviously, how Danny Jacobs reacts. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.